Hare Krishna. So welcome you all. And let's develop this Bhagavad class. So let's start with chanting the holy name of the Lord for a few minutes and then we'll start discussion. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Ira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Damodar Radhe Jai Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadra Jai Sudarshan Jai Gauranitai Jai Gauranitai Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Gurudev Jai Gurudev Harinam Sankirtan Yagi ki Jai Shri Bhagavad ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai Hare Krishna everyone. So today we have chosen this specific topic, yoga for the modern age. What is yoga and which one is for me? So this is especially, if you remember, we were doing some presentation earlier and we could cover few of the topics: search for happiness, and does God really exist, who is God, and why bad things happen to good people. So one session, this is in continuation to that, yoga for the modern age. So we will discuss about, and before that we will take one or two shlokas so that we can continue with our pace, with our study of Bhagavad Gita. So as of now, we have covered till verse number 25, second chapter, verse number 25. So this is page number 96. You can open. Okay, 25 we have already discussed about. So 26 we will start. So just you can recite after me. Atha chainam nityajatam nityam va manyase mritam tathapi tvam mahabaho nainam shochitum arhasi. Translation: if, however, you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty arm. So here, before this, so in this section, we could study about different characteristics of soul. So in previous verses, we could know that the soul is eternal. It is ever existing. Soul never dies. And so many other characteristics we studied. And before this, we were studying the sloka which is mentioning. It is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. So, first of all, Krishna, he is trying to convince Arjuna based on this basis that the soul is eternal, so you should not lament for that and you should do your duty. So now, he is giving another reasoning that if, however, you think that the soul will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty arm. And Srila Prabhupada is explaining that there are two kinds of people, believer and non-believer. There are people who believe in soul and there are people who do not believe in soul. So Krishna, Prabhupada is mentioning that even at that time also, not only now, even at the time of Krishna, there were these two kinds of people. So these two kinds of people mentioned Lokayatikas and Vaibhashikas. These are the two categories of people who do not believe in soul. And what they believe that this body is a combination of physical elements, and at a certain stage the life symptoms develop by interaction of the physical and chemical elements. So this is their thought process. Even modern science believe like this only, that life comes from matter. It's just a composition of some chemicals. And that's why Prabhupada is saying, if it is, for example, as of now, just accept this philosophy or this thought process. Okay, if body is just a composition, it's a chemical composition, and Prabhupada is mentioning no one laments the loss of a certain bulk of chemicals and stops discharging his prescribed duty. And what he's saying, on the other hand, in modern science and scientific warfare, so many tons of chemicals are wasted for achieving victory over the enemy. According to Vaibhashika philosophy, the so-called soul or Atma vanishes along with the deterioration of the body. So in any case, whether Arjuna accepted the Vedic conclusion that there is an atomic soul or he did not believe in the existence of the soul, he had no reason to lament. So whatever. So Krishna is now giving both of the logic that even if you believe in soul or you do not believe in existence of soul, and if you believe that okay, this life is just a chemical composition, then also you need not to worry. Right? Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu dhruvam janma mrityuscha tasmada pariharyate natum sochitum arhasi. What is saying? One who has taken birth is sure to die, and after death one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. This is another reason he is giving. If it is okay that we die, we are this body, we die, then also you need not to worry. Because one who is dying, no, death is for sure. Death is inevitable. So why to worry about it? This is truth, right? So you need not to worry about that. But again, we were discussing about that. It doesn't mean that because on this basis that death is sure, we cannot. What Prabhupada is saying that. However, support unnecessary murder, slaughter, and war. We cannot just support this. But at the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society for keeping law and order. So this topic we had discussed that violence, there is utility for everything. So violence is also required. But that violence is not whimsical. That is supreme justice. That is on the basis of dharma. That is required. So supreme justice. Like a judge, if he is giving punishment to a murderer, so that is not killing. So punishment is good for the person who has done some criminal activities as per Manu Samhita. So violence to establish religion, that is truth. It's a very crucial subject matter. But what is religion? First one has to understand. So the point here is that in any case, there is no need to lament for this body because that is temporary. And next look at what he is saying. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? So if we take this philosophy, this is again the same material philosophy or the modern science we believe in. So this is the law of conservation of energy. Like anything, earlier we see that is in unmanifest state, and then we see manifest state, and then again it is going to be unmanifested. So if we see the law of conservation of energy, means it is just form is changing. Whatever is the object, the energy is always there. So if you believe in this law, then also you need not to worry. Because earlier we were in unmanifest state, and Prabhupada is giving a very simple example to understand. For example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. Like a big building is there. So building is what? It's a manifestation of earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested. So when you dismantle the building, it is again unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. Right? So this is from scientific point of view also, if we see that object that is always existing in different forms, then also we not to worry. So these are the different reasons. And then what he is saying, Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. This subject matter, soul, is very amazing subject matter. Soul, super soul, something which we cannot perceive from our material senses, from our material intelligence. This is very much inconceivable. So it's a detailed discussion is there, but again, because we have already done that, so soul is so minute, we know the size of the soul, so minute, it's very difficult to even perceive that. Any of the instrument, scientific, material instrument, we won't be able to perceive soul. Even hearing about soul, so amazing. We cannot believe that the same soul is existing in all living entities. Either it is an ant, Prabhupada is saying even a microbe, we cannot see with eyes, but the same soul existing in a microbe hearts as well. Even we cannot imagine that some microbe is having some heart, right? Our heart may be different, and some other maybe living entity, they may have different size and shape of heart. But the point is, soul is existing in every living entity. That is very amazing. And we know the super soul and the difference between soul and super soul. So this is what Krishna is talking about, that this is very amazing. And then finally, verse number 30, he is giving a conclusion of all this discussion. What he is saying, Dehi nityam avadyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani na tvam sochitum arhasi. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any living being. So this is the final conclusion of this section of Bhagavad Gita, means soul section. So what he's saying, the Lord now concludes the chapter of instruction on the immutable spirit soul. In describing the immortal soul in various ways, Lord Krishna establishes that the soul is immortal and the body is temporary. Therefore, Arjuna, as a Kshatriya, should not abandon his duty out of fear that his grandfather and teacher, Bhishma and Drona, will die in the battle. On the authority of Shri Krishna, one has to believe that there is a soul different from the material body. Not that there is no such thing as soul, or that living symptoms develop at a certain stage of material maturity resulting from the interaction of chemicals. Though the soul is immortal, violence is not encouraged, but at the time of war, it is not discouraged when there is an actual need for it. That need must be justified in terms of the section of the Lord and not capriciously. So this is the whole gist of the discussion we did about soul. Prabhupada, in a very small paragraph, he just concluded everything. So soul is immortal and body is temporary. So I'll start with a small story. So it's a beautiful story. Like the soul section, we have been studying that. This is very amazing. And the only source to understand or to know about soul is, what is that? Vedas, right? No other way to understand soul, to know about soul. So Vedic scriptures. So Vedic scriptures, it's a very vast, it is knowledge, vast knowledge. Not only about this universe, but when we say about Vedic scripture, it means the knowledge about different other universes. And it's not mythology, it's history. History about this universe, history about many other universes where some action or something, some event taking place. And you can say this Vedas or the Puranas, that is the history of all these different universes and different events which is taking place in different universes. So when we go through this, we get so many learnings about soul, about super soul, right? And about the creation of the universe, how universal creation is taking place, and how everything is happening in this universe. What are those energies which is creating or maintaining or annihilating these universes? So, and that is very much, and also about whatever we are studying in Bhagavad Gita, further details are there. Bhagavad Gita is gist of all the Vedas. Whatever detailed information is there on those Vedic scriptures, which is there in Bhagavad Gita, right? So, one story which I'll just refer in this context, though the subject matter we are going to discuss is very detailed today. Okay, it's 11:30. This clock, please, just keep it in front of me. It's not visible from there, so I'll keep. Just give it to me. Maybe I'll keep it here. Yes. Yes. So let's quickly, maybe few of the topics you already know, so we'll not go in detail, but just to understand, this is a story I'm adding here. Few of you might have heard about it. This is a story of Chitraketu Maharaj. There was a king in Satyuga, and he was the king of the whole world. And everything, whatever you can imagine from material point of view, name, fame, wealth, power, beauty, everything was there with him. But again, he was dissatisfied. He was not happy. And you know what was the reason behind that? He was not having any child, no children. And just to get a child, a son, he married 1 lakh queens, not 1 or 2. He had 1 lakh queens. But in spite of having 1 lakh queens, he was not having a son. So he was very much disappointed with that. So this is the nature of this material world. You have everything, but if you don't have one thing, you become miserable. If we have that material desire or something, one desire is not being fulfilled, we become stressed. We do not appreciate whatever we have. But what we do not have, we always keep on thinking about it or just hankering after it. So finally, this was the same situation. And one day, Angira Muni, he approached Chitraketu Maharaj and he inquired about why you are so unhappy. You have everything, whatever a person can imagine. So he said, if a person, if somebody is there, if somebody is hungry and you just apply some maybe chandan and you offer a garland, beautiful garland, will the person be happy with that? No, because the person is hungry, he needs food. So Angira Muni understood his intention. Chitraketu Maharaj said that, see, I have everything, but I don't have a son. So Angira Muni said, okay, that's it. You want a son? Okay. So he prayed for, and then Angira Muni with his mystic power, just he gave some fruit to him, and he said that just you give this fruit to your most beloved queen, and very soon you will get a son. And the same thing happened. Chitraketu Maharaj, he got a son. And he became very happy. Even the queen, she became very happy. They was enjoying their life. But in this period, all other queens, because king now he was more affectionate, more loving and caring towards that particular queen, from her he got a son. So it was very natural. He started paying more attention on that particular queen, and because of that, all other queens they became envious of king, and they started thinking why the king is not taking care of us, not bothering or not loving us. And it is all the queens, they were just discussing, and finally they concluded that it is all because of this son. And they all did a conspiracy. They all, decided to kill that son. By giving poison, they decided to kill that son. And they just one day, in some sweet, they mixed some poison and just fed that child, a small child who had done nothing. These are all very beautiful pastimes and lots of learning is there, but today's topic is not that so. But this is what the envious mentality, this is the nature of this world. Even our near and dear ones, sometimes, most of the times, they become envious when you are happy, when you advance. Your near and dear ones, they cannot see that, right? I mean, this is the nature. So similarly, because of enviousness, all these good queens, they were very pious, very nice queens, but because of enviousness, they decided to kill that child, and finally the child was killed. So the king and queen, they were very, very, just not happy with them. They were crying and blaming God. This is what the situation happened, right? They're blaming that why it happened, this is not the law, still I am here, why my son died. So this is very natural, he was crying. Again, Narad Muni and Angira Muni, they came there to that spot, and again they were blaming, complaining. Then Narad Muni, with his mystic power, and that son was still, the body was still there. So Narad Muni just asked that son, that child, dead body, that why you left? See your mother and father, they are crying. Wake up. So the son, just that body, that wake up, and he started asking, whose father, whose mother you are talking about? Which father, which mother you are talking about? I have taken so many births. Sometimes in some celestial body I took birth, sometimes in some animal body, sometimes in plant and trees. I have been traveling in so many bodies. Which birth you are talking about? Which father, which mother you are talking about? So here, that boy is giving the same knowledge which we studied in Bhagavad Gita, that we are not this body, we are soul, and soul is transmigrating from one body to another. And this body is temporary, soul is eternal. This change is truth. Right? So the same knowledge he is giving. And by this enlightenment, Chitraketu Maharaj, now he was comfortable, now he understood the reality of the world, and then he inquired about, what is my duty, what should I do? Like here in this situation we see Arjuna, because he is bewildered, he is not ready to do his duty. And that's why Krishna is making him understand that this is the reality. Just because this change, you cannot avoid your responsibility, your prescribed duty. And the same teaching now Narad Muni, he is giving that, because whatever your duty, because this change is unavoidable. So now, whatever happened, accept this reality and just do your duty. So if you talk about duty, your prescribed duty, so many things are there mentioned in the scriptures as per your varna and ashram. We have some responsibilities, some duties. So, but the topmost responsibility, Savai Pumsam Parudharmo Yato Bhaktir Adhokshaji. The topmost responsibility of this human form of life is reviving our lost relationship with Krishna, with God. That is the topmost responsibility. We may have different responsibilities. Our household responsibilities, family responsibilities, social responsibilities, that is okay. So two kinds of duties. If we divide all those duties, we can categorize into two parts. One is duty towards this body, and one is duty towards your soul. So most of the time we are engaged in duty towards body, fulfilling the needs of body, but we are not bothered about the duty of soul, and which is the topmost duty of this human form of life. Topmost dharma means establishing our relationship with God. And once we establish that relation, we will come out of all the problems, all the anxiety, all the stress, we will be happy. So establishing relationship means surrendering or accepting our original constitutional position, And what is that position? What is that relation with God? Our constitutional position is God is master and we are servant. Jivera Swarupoy Krishnera Nitya Das. Becoming servant of Krishna, serving God is our original constitutional position. When we are established in this position, when we are acting in this position, then we are liberated. We are free from all anxiety. Sometimes, like when we say servant or serving, we do not accept it. Real happiness is in serving, is not in becoming master. Right? So real happiness, true happiness starts when we accept our original constitutional position as servant of God, and when we act in relation with this, in relation of God, we are liberated. Muktir hitva anetha rupam swarupena vyavastita. This is the meaning of liberation. Liberation doesn't mean that you die and then you did. That is another one kind of liberation. But the real meaning of liberation is simply being situated in your original constitutional position. The moment you accept that Krishna is God and I am His servant and my life is meant to serve Him, you are liberated. So this is what's liberation, serving God. And we will be blissful, happy in that situation. Now, this serving or this dedicating life to Krishna, that is, we know that is called Bhakti. Bhakti means to love God, to serve God, to follow His instruction in life, right? That is called Bhakti. And Bhakti is one of the yoga, right? So in Bhagavad Gita, we study different kinds of yoga. Now Krishna, He will explain, He will give different kinds of yoga system to Arjuna. The purpose of yoga, now quickly we'll go through this. There are, like we have different conception about yoga. So there are few points. First of all, we have to unlearn and then learn. Whatever conception we have about yoga, because most of the time, what we think that we have to know like what yoga is not. So yoga is not for just some bodily shape or some healthy body, because this is the understanding that yoga means just keep your body fit. That is one of the objective, but that is not the ultimate objective of yoga. Similarly, what good health and what is that? Can you read? Increased sense gratification. You understand? Because if something I'm not able to digest, then I will do some kind of yoga so that I can digest, I can enjoy food more. So similarly, different kinds of sense gratification is there. So only for sense gratification, physical fitness is not the objective. Similarly, increased lifespan. People think that yoga means you can increase your lifespan. That is true, but not the ultimate objective. Similarly, there is like mystic powers. I don't know. Yoga, there is Ashtang Yoga process. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Dhyan, Dharan. And when you follow the full process which is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, you can achieve many of the mystic power. Anima, Laghima, Mahima, these are the all mystic power. You can increase your, like Hanumanji, yes? You can decrease the size of your body, you can increase the size of your body. And sitting over here, you can achieve something. You can go somewhere else. Sitting over here in one place, you can go and visit some place and come back. These are all mystic power. And with the help of yoga, you can achieve that. But this is again not the ultimate purpose of yoga. The real meaning of yoga is, yoga means, if you see the term, what is the meaning? Union. Yoga, jodna, right? Union. Union with whom? Union with whom? With God. Soul, super soul. This is the real meaning of yoga. Yoga means union. Re-establishing our relation. That is yoga, right? So we are soul, and any process which is helping us to re-establish that relation is called yoga, right? So different kinds of yoga process which is there in Bhagavad Gita. We will study in detail, but shortcut we will go through quickly because we have less time. So when it comes to yoga, these are the, so before talking about yoga system, there are two kinds of people. If we categorize the whole, this, first of all, we know yoga is meant only for human beings. Other living species, they cannot do yoga. They don't have that consciousness level or intelligence level. Only in human form of life we can, we can think of God, or we can think of solving all the problems in life. Other living species, they cannot do that. So in human beings also, there are two kinds of categories. One is law abiders and law breakers. Law abiders means those people who follow the injunctions of scriptures. They follow injunctions or the rules and regulations mentioned in scripture. And the second category is law breaker. They do not at all bother about scripture. So first of all, the discussion is about law breakers. So law breaker means hard-working materialist. In my last session we were talking about, so we will not go in detail. Materialistic people means they don't know anything about soul, about super soul. They only know about their body, and anyhow they just want to satisfy their body. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending is the only objective. They don't know anything about next life, previous life, right? So that is law breakers. They don't bother about sinful reactions. Whatever comes in their mind, they are ready to do that, just to fulfill their sensory desires, right? So that is hardcore materialistic. So now when it comes to law abiders, the followers, so again there are different category, and the first category, like karma kanda, you must be knowing about, right? Karma kanda. So in Vedas, in Vedic scripture, you will see many prescriptions or some rules and regulations are there. If you follow that, for example, if you want to become healthy, then you worship sun god. And if you want a husband or a beautiful wife, then it is mentioned that you worship the wife of Lord Shiva, Uma, Parvati. And if you want a nice husband, then you worship Lord Shiva. So different prescriptions are there. So this karma kanda means this kind of people, they follow scriptures. Even they don't have much knowledge about soul, small, little bit knowledge about soul, about God, not clear understanding, but little bit understanding they have. And they follow rules and regulations because they have some material desire, karma kanda, some benefit. If I donate, I will get better life. In next life, I will be not hungry. If I feed people, if I feed animals, I will be not hungry. No? Or giving some donation, I will get a good residence in next life. Whatever, different kinds of motivations are there. This is called karma kanda. So, but not having proper understanding. But this process, somebody may ask that why this is given in a scripture if it is not good, or because ultimately whatever material desire you are achieving, that is not going to help you to come out of this material world. That is, you are going to be in this material world only. Sometimes higher planet, sometimes lower planet. But end of the day, you are in this universe only. As long as you are in this material world, the sufferings, the law is applicable. Birth, death, old age, disease, that is always going to be there. Either you are at higher planet or lower planet. So why this karma kanda is they given over there? Not, it is for gradual upliftment, because at least person is starting something is doing. So this is for gradual upliftment, right? So from karma kanda, the second comes Nishkama Karma. So karma kanda is also known as sakam karma. Sakam means with some material desire, and Nishkama Karma means very easy. No desire for fruit. No desire for food. The person is very dutiful. The person is doing his duty, not bothered about food. But the one problem here is this teaching we will go in detail in later chapters, like Karmanyavadhikaraste, very famous shloka in Bhagavad Gita. But the problem here is with Karma Kand or Nishkama Karma Yogi kind of, is that the person is attached with action, attached with work, not with result, but he thinks that I am doer, I am doing, that ego is there still. Because of me, no, everything is happening. I'm doing so much welfare activities. I'm not bothered about fruits, but I'm attached with action. So that is one Nishkama Karma. And further, when we go to this ladder, again, we have to understand all these yoga system, that is ladder. Like we see a ladder, so different rungs of ladder. Siri hoti hai. So these are different ranks, right? So stepwise, just moving ahead, this person, when he starts thinking that, okay, I'm offering the fruits to Lord, not having complete understanding, but offering, so sometimes he starts inquiring, where does it go? Whom I'm offering these fruits? So the person starts inquiring or starts gaining some knowledge. So that is another step that is called Jnana Yoga. Means through books or through some mental speculation, accumulating knowledge about soul, about super soul, about relation of soul and super soul, different elements of this material universe, how this material world is functioning. All these things we will study in last section of Bhagavad Gita. That is called Jnana. Analytical study of body and soul, that is called Jnana. So the person starts studying about. But again, the person in this stage very much dependent on mental speculation. Mental speculation. And that's why this path again is very troublesome. In 6th chapter, Krishna is saying this path, not this, but it takes long time. We will study about it. So Jnana Yoga means getting knowledge. So after doing lots of effort, this kind of people, they reach up to impersonal conception of God. That is, that it's like Brahma Jyoti. And Brahma Jyoti, they reach up to that level. So we have already studied about Brahma Jyoti, what is Brahma, what is Paramatma, what is God. So it is mentioned that this kind of person, they are promoted to Bhakti Yoga through the association of pure devotees. When they come in contact with any of the devotee of the Lord, they very fast grow or they very fast get into Bhakti Yoga. So this is Jnana Yoga. And now, let's go quickly. Ashtang Yoga. Ashtang Yoga means, by the name only you can understand that Ashta means 8. There are process. This is a mechanical meditative process for controlling mind and senses, for focusing on the Supreme. So Ashtang Yoga means Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam. So this process, any of the spiritual practice we are doing, the first objective of doing that is to control the mind and senses. Right? Without controlling the mind and senses, we cannot advance on a spiritual path. So we have to understand. So this meditative process is very, very difficult process. In chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, we will study about how strict rules and regulations are there in this process. And there is always a danger of falling down. We will see so many examples in scriptures following this process, like Vishwamitra Muni. He did tapasya for 50 years, not 50 years, 60,000 years. And just by hearing the sound of ankle bell of Menaka, he got disturbed, right? So there is a chance of failure in this process. Though it is very tough process, it is not possible in this age of Kali Yuga. Meditating for so many years, we cannot meditate for few hours. Our mind will be distracted. If you later on, maybe in this slide will come. So nearly impossible to perform in the age of Kali Yuga. So now Ashtang Yoga is not possible. So the next yoga system is Bhakti Yoga system. I'm going very quick, right? So Ashtang Yoga, many other examples are there, but one thing for sure that it is very difficult, and there is always a chance of failure, especially in this Kali Yuga. That is not possible to do. But Bhakti Yoga is highest and topmost yoga system. Why? We will discuss about it. That this is, there are three things involved in Bhakti Yoga: Bhakti, Bhagwan, and Bhakta. Bhakti is that process, Bhagwan and Bhakta. In between there is Bhakti. And there are 9 ways of doing Bhakti, which is, we call it Navadha Bhakti. So now we are going to focus on that, how to do Bhakti. Previous few sections, I went very quickly, I'm not going in detail, but one understanding we have to make it very clear that those practices not possible in this age of Kali Yuga. And also, when we say Bhakti, means all other processes are already there in Bhakti Yoga. Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, individually, they don't have any existence. Existence means, if you see either you are doing Karma Yoga or you are doing Bhakti Yoga, ultimate purpose is what? Purpose is to reach to Krishna, either by doing Karma Yoga. Yoga means connectivity to God, and Karma. If somebody is following the Karma process, and it is, see the word Karma Yoga, not only Karma. It's not that whatever you are doing, sometimes people say that no, Karma hi puja hai. Whatever you are doing, that will lead you towards God. No, not like that. Karma means those kind of karma. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Yat karosi yad asnasi yad juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurusva madarpanam. Means how you have to act, your action, that should be dedicated to Krishna. That kind of karma, that kind of action, when it is dedicated to Krishna, that will lead you to Krishna. And similarly, about Jnana Yoga, so there is a comparison also, we will discuss about it. But even Jnana, why we are getting so much of knowledge? What is the use of that knowledge if you are not able to understand God? If you are not able to accept God as His master, then that knowledge is simply waste of time. Some siddhir haritoshanam, whatever we are doing, if we are not able to understand ourselves, understand our relation with God, and we are not able to execute our service in this relation, then that is simply a waste of time, as per Srimad Bhagavatam. We are simply wasting our time. So, why Bhakti Yoga is topmost? Let's understand. So, number one, maximum result, minimum time, and what else? Minimum effort. Quickly just, no previous qualifications required, right? So this is Bhakti Yoga. It's not like that you have to sit for many days and do some dhyan, right? So you can get maximum result with minimum time and effort and no previous qualification. So lots of examples we discuss when we do this seminar. So wherein you will see somebody, I don't have that much time to go in, but even at the last moment, somebody throughout his life, he did nothing. He was engaged in so many sinful activities, but the person at the last moment of his life simply dedicated to Krishna, simply started doing bhakti, and he got this ultimate perfection of his life. So many examples are there in the scriptures. Ajamela, many examples. Gajendra. Just by following this bhakti process, at the last moment, they got the perfection of life. Minimum time, right? Minimum effort. Minimum effort. What Krishna is asking for? Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayakshati. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit or water, I will accept it. What Krishna is saying. He is not demanding for big things. And what we can offer to Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna. It is just like being grateful. Just like we offer Ganga water, where from we are taking Ganga water? We are taking water from Ganga and offering to the Ganga, and Ganga is pleased. Similarly, everything belongs to Krishna. So he is not expecting something, he is just expecting love from us, our reciprocation, our gratitude. Just like a small child taking money from father and just gifting his father, purchasing some gift or some chocolate or whatever, some sweet, and just giving back it to father. Father feels happy. Yes, my son is so nice. Father knows about it, that where from he got the money? He is getting from me only. It's just a reciprocation. This is what Bhakti means. It's a consciousness. It's not just doing some ritual. Ritual is just to create a loving atmosphere. All those different worship or different processes we follow, that is a loving reciprocation. It's not just mechanical activity. If you understand the purpose behind that, and with that understanding, if you do these activities, you will see your heart will transform. So bhakti means love. Love means service. Reciprocation of love means doing some service for Lord. And this is what a small service we can do, simply by watering or offering leaf, tulsi leaf. If you cannot do that, you can offer some fruit, some flower. Yes? Even if you have nothing, just offer water, which is readily available everywhere. But if you offer water with love, there are many examples, many devotees simply by offering tulsi leaf and water to the Lord, they pleased and they achieved perfection. So it's a very simple process. No previous qualification. Whatever we have done as of now in so many lifetimes, nothing to worry about. The moment we take shelter, Krishna is saying, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. Whatever sins we have done as of now, knowingly, unknowingly, simply by taking shelter of Krishna, and Krishna is promising us that the moment you take my shelter, I will release you from all sinful reactions. Do not worry. Do not fear. Right? Such a nice process. And so many other benefits. Anyone can practice bhakti at all times. Baby in womb. Prahlad Maharaj, he started his bhakti when he was in womb. He didn't came out even. Narad Muni taught about bhakti to his mother Kayadu. And Prahlad Maharaj was within womb at that time. And he learned everything about bhakti. The moment he took birth, he started bhakti. And that's why he's teaching that bhakti, kaumara acharit pragyo, dharman bhagavataniha. One should start bhakti at the age of 5 years. This is what the recommendation from the scriptures. And misconception we have that bhakti is something when you are retired, when you are not able to do anything, then you should do bhakti, you should read Bhagavad Gita. This is the biggest misconception. When you read manual, when you get the product, once the product is spoiled, then you start reading manual. Most of the time it happens, especially in India, right? We read manual once the things are damaged. But why it is meant for? Manual, we have to read in advance. We can learn the process, how to operate that machine. So this Bhagavad Gita is life manual. We have to understand life first before operating it. So if we know about life, how to operate it, how to live a better way of life, then we can utilize it in a much better way. We can achieve the purpose of this life. Otherwise, once the life is over, and once we are not able even to read Bhagavad Gita, eyesight is blurred, yes, not able to walk, so that is not good time. Bhakti should start. We should encourage our family members, youngsters, to go through this. So yes, Shudra can be Guru, and so many. These are all discussions, but we know that anybody, it's not based on caste. Even a person born in a very low family, low caste family, can become a Guru. Guru Krishna, that is Kiba Vipra Kribanyapi Shudra Kene Noy. Even a person, one who knows Krishna Tattva Vedta, Sei Guru hoy. One who knows about Krishna, he can become a guru. It's not like somebody is taking birth in a Brahminican family, only he can become a guru. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that guru means anybody, one who knows about Krishna, he can become guru. He can teach the whole world. Right? Knowing God means knowing everything. Yes. No loss. Neha vigramana swasti pratyavayo na vidyate. In this process, Krishna is saying there is no loss. Whatever you have executed, whatever you have done on this path as of now, that is your permanent asset. That is your eternal permanent time. This is really the utilization of time. Because anything material is going to be finished. But anything spiritual, that is eternal permanent asset. 1%, 2%, 5%, 10% in this lifetime, whatever we have achieved, when we go to our next life, maybe in this lifetime, if we are not able to complete our journey, we are not, then also there is nothing to worry about, because next life we will start from there. And that's why you see many children, they take birth and immediately you will see after a few months they are very God conscious. Or why it is like that? Because the spiritual journey is already, that is coming from previous life. So many devoted you will see, many family kids you will see that. So that journey is continued. And Krishna says that even if you lose this, Arjuna asked this question to Krishna, what happens to those people who could not complete their journey? Are they scattered like clouds? So Krishna says no. He says, if they could not complete next birth, they will take Suchinam Shimatam Vehi. Either in rich family, so that they are not worried to struggle for their existence, food, about their shelter, or they will take birth in a devotee family so that they will get a proper atmosphere to continue their spiritual journey. So, win-win situation. There is no loss. This is about bhakti, right? That's why we should be very much motivated to do that. Very safe, like I gave you the example, Vishwamitra Muni. Other processes, there is a danger of fall down, right? But in bhakti, there is no chance of fall down. So, yes. So in all other, these are the different motivation factors, like when we say sakam karma, like ignorant people, not aware of the reality, they work, they follow the rules and regulations because of fear factor. Let me follow the rules, something may happen, fear factor, right? So these are 4 motivational factors. Even in our activities also we can see why we do something. These are the 4 motivational factors. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur giving about this. So fear, out of fear we do something. Second motivation factor is out of gain. I will get something, right? If I do it, I will get something. Third is out of duty. And fourth is out of love. So you can understand with a very simple example like paying tax. So there are people who pay taxes out of fear. What will happen? If I do not pay, then I'll be punished for that. And there are people, they pay because, okay, if I pay, then I'll be able to get some loan. I can request for some loan, some gain is there. And out of duty, there are people, okay, because government is giving so many facilities and it is my duty, I should do that. So they are doing out of duty. And the fourth step is doing out of love, right? Out of love. So all other 3 stages, either you're doing out of fear, out of gain, out of duty, stress and anxiety level will be there. But when you do it out of love, so in this context, I give you example of just to understand that, but in this context, like sakam karma, nishkam karma, or whatever, so there will be, some kind of dissatisfaction even after you achieve the desire you had by following those processes. But Bhakti Yoga means not out of fear, not out of gain, not out of duty. Even in Bhakti also, these are the different motivation factors, different levels. But finally, if we really want to achieve the ultimate benefit of bhakti, then it should be done out of love. Because that is what our natural constitutional position. So quickly, because now this section, how we can do bhakti. As of now, we have understood that bhakti is the topmost yoga system. It's very simple, easy, most sublime method, and it is for this modern age. We cannot go to some secluded or going to jungle or doing some kind of Ashtang Yoga or some kind of yoga practice. We have our responsibility in this city life or whichever life we are leading. So Bhakti Yoga is a process which you can do with your existing setup. And if you know the process of Bhakti, 9 processes, 9 limbs of devotional service, the font is different but you can read. So this is called Navada Bhakti. Hearing, chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Saksham, Atmanivedanam. These are the 9 processes of doing bhakti. Hearing, chanting, remembering, serving his lotus feet, worshipping him, offering prayers, becoming his servant, making him a friend, surrendering oneself. So any of the process or all of the process, it's not that one of the process, but any of the process, if you follow, you can achieve Krishna. You can come closer to Krishna. And the first very important process is hearing. Hearing means Shravanam. Simply by hearing, you can come close to Krishna, you can reestablish your relation. This is bhakti process. And you are already doing it. Did you experience? What you are doing is bhakti. This is bhakti. Simply hearing. Like Parikshit Maharaj is the example for this. Parikshit Maharaj, when he was cursed to die within 7 days, and he inquired from Shukdev Goswami, what should be the duty of a person who is on the verge of death? And Shukdev Goswami appreciating that, O king, everyone is at the verge of death. Fortunately, King Parikshit, he was aware that even he will die after 7 days. At least before 7 days, nothing is going to happen. But in our case, we are not aware of that date. And Shukdev Goswami said, everyone is on the verge of death. Any moment we can leave this planet, this body. So what is the duty of a person? So Shukdev Goswami, he said, one should hear about Krishna, about Srimad Bhagavatam. And he started speaking. So he was the example for chanting. Chanting means speaking. So a person who is speaking about Krishna and the people who are hearing about Krishna, both will be liberated just by following this process. And whatever you speak, whatever you hear, remembrance. You remember. Garbage in, garbage out. Right? Whatever is going inside, that only will come out. When you keep on speaking, thinking about Krishna, then you will speak about Krishna. Right? So this is very important activity. Every day we have to make a practice of hearing about Krishna, reading about Krishna, so that we can speak about Krishna. Right? So anything in relation to Krishna, and remembrance will go. And this is what the criteria Krishna is giving in Bhagavad Gita. Antakale chamave smaran muktva kaleva. One who remembers me at the time of death will come to my abode. Will come to me. So remembrance is only possible when we are hearing about. And this hearing process will evoke that love within our heart for Krishna. This is very simple. If you don't know anybody, will you have love for that person? Or no? If you want to love somebody, you have to know about that person as much as you. So if you know about that, then you will very easily. So all these we will discuss in our later. Let's go quickly. So this is different comparison is there, which I have already explained that yes, Karma Yoga means even Karma Yoga, finally the culmination of Karma Yoga is Bhakti only. Any action which is we are doing to please Krishna, that is Karma Yoga. Right? And similarly, Jnana Yoga, like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanman Mam Prapadyante. So even if we are following this process, Krishna is saying, after many births, means it will take many births, many lifetimes, and by the mercy of Krishna, if somebody is really intelligent after going through this process, what he's saying, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is, such a great soul is very rare. Means that Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. It takes many lifetimes just to know this Krishna is cause of all causes by following Jnana Yoga. Even many Jnanis, many people who are just following the Vedic scriptures, just independently without taking shelter of superior authority, without accepting God and Guru, they are trying their best with their mental speculation, just trying to understand God. They are not able to reach. Even Lord Brahma, what he is saying in Brahma Samhita, Pantha tu koti satavatsar sampragamyo vayo athopi manaso muni pongavana yopi yats api yat prapadsimni avichinti tatve govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. The people who are trying to understand Krishna with the mind of their, with the speed of their mind, or with their mind or intelligence. And Lord Brahma is giving example, even if you have a kind of vehicle which is running with the speed of your mind, you won't be able to reach to Krishna. These kind of people, only they are able to see the finger, the lotus finger of Krishna, the nail of Krishna's lotus feet, only that much they can. After so many births, such a tough process this is. So, Ashtang Yoga, this is the process. Just by reading this one shloka in Bhagavad Gita, the whole chapter is there about yoga. Dhyana Yoga, Ashtang Yoga. Just by reading this one shloka, you see the result. What do you feel about? Just read. One should hold one's body, neck and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose, thus with an unagitated, subdued mind devoid of fear, completely free from sex life. One should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. So there are two messages in this. Number one, ultimately this Ashtang Yoga is also for what? Meditating upon Krishna. That is the purpose. And second, if you see the process, can we do this? Our mind is so flickering. Even Arjuna rejected this process. After hearing, Arjuna said, my dear Lord, I can control the wind. Such a powerful personality. He was such a powerful personality. He said, I can control the wind. I can control the rain. But I cannot control my mind. And that's why Krishna said, don't worry. So he said, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. And at the end of this Bhagavad Gita, he said, don't worry. So after giving all these different options, because Arjuna was not able to do that, in spite of being so capable, then Krishna gave him Bhakti Yoga. Don't worry, just surrender to me, just follow me, and you will be liberated from all sinful reactions. You will be victorious. This is what Bhakti Yoga he is talking about. So finally, Bhakti Yoga is the topmost yoga system. And this is very easy, all these things we have studied. Now, just quickly, maybe this topic is again a very detailed topic, but we'll go quickly within 10-20 minutes. As of now, whatever we have received, that is called theoretical knowledge. Right? Now we got to know about soul, we got to know about Krishna. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we got to know about our relation with Krishna, that Krishna is the Supreme Person, He is the Master. And we are servant, we have a loving relationship with Krishna, and different yoga processes there. With that yoga process, I can reciprocate with Krishna. And the topmost yoga process is Bhakti Yoga process, which is very simple, very sublime. Anybody and everybody can do, in any situation can do. And we are very much convinced with it, right? Nothing to give up. Whatever you are there, whatever you are doing, job, business, you have some household responsibilities, doing that, you can very easily perform Bhakti Yoga. You can be happy in this life, and once you give up, or once you leave this life, or once you go, you will go home, back to God. And that is what the ultimate objective of our life. So now,
only one thing
yes.
was not clear. then you said you need a guru.
Yes.
For a Bhakti Yoga, you need a guru, or you can...
I think this is the topic going to be discussed. So qualification. Now, when it comes to Bhakti Yoga, of course, guru is one requirement. Because guru is one, so if you see the qualification, why guru? Like in our day-to-day activities, or even when we go to a school, college, we need a teacher. Why we need education? Whatever education we are getting from teacher, right? And the same education we implement in our job or in our business. So when it comes to spirituality, so Guru Krishna Kripa Pai. So without Guru, there might be exception, but general rule, without Guru, we cannot get the mercy of Krishna. We cannot directly approach Krishna. We have to approach through Guru. But now the question is, who is Guru? We must know that. Not anybody and everybody is Guru. So when it comes to Guru, there are qualifications that he comes from Parampara. These are all detailed subject matter. Maybe I think I will have to take another one session to understand this, because this is again detailed subject matter. Parampara means a disciplic succession, a chain of teacher and disciple, guru and disciple, which is directly coming from Krishna. So Krishna is the first spiritual master. He gave this knowledge, and then after this knowledge is coming down in disciplic chain. So anybody who is delivering knowledge about Krishna, he must be from this one of the parampara. There are many bona fide 4 sampradaya: Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, and Lakshmi. No, not Kumar Sampradaya. Sri was Lakshmi only. So these are the 4 bona fide parampara. So if anybody, because they talk about bhakti, they talk about the ultimate goal is Krishna. Process may be a little bit different, terminology or things may be different, but the goal is clear, right? So one who is following parampara, that is number 1 requirement, and have realized the conclusion of a scripture by deliberations. It's not like somebody is just speaking. Realized person, one who is practicing the message, one who has realized that knowledge, right? So these are the qualifications of Guru. It's not be fixed in devotional service of the Lord. One who is convinced with this, he will always be absorbed in Krishna consciousness, have controlled senses. His mind and senses are controlled, right? It's not that just for speaking purpose in front of in public he is speaking good words, but outside or inside he is having totally different lifestyle. It's not like that. Guru means exemplary. And many other misconceptions like my Guru, because there are many, my Guru is very expert in Sanskrit language, or my Guru, he has remembered all the shlokas in Bhagavad Gita. These are all not qualification, these are externals. Or my Guru is so powerful simply by touching one leg, or I was hurt with maybe some problem is there, physical problem is there, and my Guru simply touched me and my disease was gone. This is not the job of Guru. Of course, these are some social welfare activity. Even a doctor is doing. This is the job of a doctor. Just by curing some disease, somebody cannot become God. Somebody cannot become Guru. Right? Guru has only one responsibility, one job. That is invoking love within heart, helping us to understand our true self, helping us to understand God, and helping us to reestablish our lost relationship with God, getting us back to home, back to Godhead, getting us liberated from this material world, from the sufferings of birth and death. That is the job of Guru, right? So we must be very much clear about it. Now, Acharya means, yes, he is practicing, he is teaching by example. Similarly, disciple means student. It's not just Guru. Even disciple must be qualified, right? We also, being a student, we also have some qualification to understand the message. And in Bhagavad Gita, because quickly, this is the qualification of a student if we really want to understand. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninastatvadarshina. What is the qualification to receive knowledge? So the approach, we have discussed this topic again and again. With a humble attitude, taking shelter, approaching a spiritual master. Who is a spiritual master? We have already discussed. Not with challenging attitude. We have to take, with a humble heart, we have to approach and inquire about. Inquire about not the problems we have, material problems. My job is not working, or I'm not having my business is not doing well. This is not the inquiry with Guru. Guru means a spiritual master. So when we approach Guru for ultimate purpose. Okay. So with humble attitude approaching Guru and render service. Rendering service, different kinds of service, but the most important service is whatever we hear from, whatever knowledge we receive from Guru, implementing that knowledge in life or accepting those instructions. That is, if we simply go inquire and just getting the answer but not following those, so it's simply waste of time. Knowledge, if it is not implemented, that is simply a waste of time. But in case of this spiritual knowledge, that is not waste of time. Don't worry about it. Even if we are not following, nothing to worry about. The time will come. The point is, yes, we should, if we really want to please Guru, we should follow the instruction. So Guru is very important aspect. Now, third point is temple. What is temple? We have to understand. Temple is not just a building. Otherwise, this is also a building made up of concrete or cement. All the raw materials you see, do you see any different thing in temple? The same raw material is being used to construct a temple. What is the difference?
The architecture is totally...
Okay, maybe architecture. Yes.
It's the presence of God actually.
Energy. Who is the center of that temple? What is... God is center. God is in center. Everything, anything and everything is being done for the pleasure of God. Now the second thing what here is mentioned, like temple means what understanding we have, that it's a place of worship. That is true, but not just a place of worship. An institute of higher education. Temple means higher education. What does it mean? Higher education means? Higher education means PhD? Transcendental. Whatever education we are getting in school and colleges, that is material education, that is going to fulfill your material desire, material needs. Roti, kapda, makan. Higher education means which is beyond this material world. Which the education which is going to take you away from this material world. I mean, which is taking you at transcendental platform. That is higher education. Even if you become PhD or do whatever engineering, whatever you're doing, but that is ultimately material education. Right? Transcendental education means which is getting you beyond matter, which is spiritual, transcendental. So that is the purpose of temple. It's just like a hospital. When you go to hospital, what is your expectation? You first of all go to doctor, and there are 4 kinds of information you want. Number 1, the diagnosis, and you try to understand your disease, and you try to understand the root cause of your disease, and then you try to understand the process to cure that disease, and finally you take medicine. That is it. Similarly, when we go to the temple, we are diseased, materially diseased. This material bodily conception is a disease, and we go to the temple to diagnose this. So when we go to temple, when we hear a spiritual master, so this is what the knowledge we get, that we are not this body, we are soul. Right? And why we are suffering in this material world? Because of this bodily concept of life. So we have to come out of that. And how we can come out of that? By doing devotional service. Now we have our relation with God. So when we practice this devotion, we will we come out of this disease. We get cured when we establish our relation with God. Maybe another 10 minutes to start. So by 12:30 we'll close. Right? So the disease, we got to know about our disease, and we got to know the process, how we can be cured. Right? And we have got medicine also. But if you keep the medicine locked in somewhere, you don't take medicine, do you think you will be cured? You got the medicine, you got the everything, diagnosis, but you don't take medicine. Will it cure the disease? No. So we have to take medicine also, right? And let me very quickly I'll go, and because we are anyway doing continuous classes, so we can discuss in detail. But now this is the question that temple, this is what the purpose of temple I have already explained. Now, we cannot go temple every day. It is not possible for us. Then how we can practice spirituality? How we can practice spirituality at home? So there are few things. These things, like, first of all, we have to try to avoid these sinful activities. And again, don't worry about this, but this is something like when you take medicine, you get some kind of do's and don'ts also. Some prescriptions, no? You take medicine, but at the same time, don't take these foods, because if you keep on taking, like your sugar, a diabetic patient, take this medicine and don't take sweets. But if it is going on, then maybe the medicine will not be much effective. So we have to follow some rules and regulations. At the same time, we have to take medicine. So no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit relation, sex, no gambling. These are the prescriptions from scripture that if we want to advance in Krishna consciousness, we want to come close to Krishna, then we should avoid these sinful activities. Now, making our home a temple. As I said, there is no difference in temple and in this building. The center in temple is God. The moment we establish God in our home, we give Him we give Him a place in home, in our home, within our heart. When God is there within heart, this body becomes temple. This body is again a temple, right? When God is there residing within. Similarly, when God is here in this home becomes temple. So first of all, we have to make a temple. Our home should become a temple. Means God should be the center of that, our life, our home. So make an altar. Offering food means, yes, like reciprocation of love, whatever we can offer, some milk, some fruit, some juice, some water, whatever we are eating, we can offer. Whatever means, whatever Krishna is recommending. Love means, whatever my lover wants, it's not what I want. I love something else, I should offer it. Or many times I quote the example that if you love your husband, right, and your husband is asking for a glass of water, and out of love, you say, no, I'll not give you water. I love you too much. I'll give you a glass of milk. Will he be happy with that? Because he needs water. So whatever we are offering as per desire of Krishna, so he is asking for, we have to offer that. Offering Aarti, again, this is reciprocation of love. Details we will discuss later. But yes, inviting family. So family prays together, stay together. Simply creating this atmosphere at home, you will see so many changes in life. The relation between the family members will change. Because a devotee, he understands that we are all part and parcel of Krishna. All these loving family members, they are also part and parcel of Krishna. If I love Krishna, then definitely, automatically, I will love everyone. Right? There's an English statement, you love me, you love my dog. Right? So, if you do not love the children of Krishna, then Krishna will not be happy with that. So, loving Krishna, that's why our central point is We learn how to love Krishna. By learning how to love Krishna, by default, we start loving natural. That is natural. We don't have to impose. Natural, you will start loving every living entity. So, and when Krishna is there, then yes. So now these are the practices. Final practice, association of devotees. How we can make it constantly in our life means association of devotees. Like we are a devotees association. So these 4 things, if you simply remember these 4 things, A, B, C, D, rest everything will take place. Association of devotees, and then book reading, like we are reading Bhagavad Gita, so reading a scripture, chanting the holy name of the Lord, and diet means prasada. A, B, C, D. Just remember these 3, 4, and out of these 4, one most important activity, C. Our spiritual master, our acharyas say that whatever we are doing, the ultimate objective of is first of all coming to this point, chanting the holy name of the Lord. And simply by doing this one, like different processes we could see in bhakti, time is up. But chanting, even if you forget everything, you don't know anything about philosophy, you forget everything, just by doing this one activity in this age of Kali Yuga, simply by chanting the name of the Lord, we will achieve perfection. Simply by this. This is especially meant for Kali Yuga. And this is quickly, I'll go through the slides. It's not only Bhagavad Gita is talking about, but it is with all other religious scriptures. Even in Christianity, you go through Sikhism, Islam, you go through Buddhism, everywhere it is recommended. Even Sanatan Dharma, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, Krishna himself saying, chanting and doing kirtan, chanting his name is the most sublime method to get connected to Krishna. And this mantra we know every time we have been chanting, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So mantra means Mana Iti Trayate, which delivers us from all anxiety and stress. That is mantra. And these are all different, kind of people giving their opinion. These are all big people, no industrialists. He is Albert Bruce Ford, the owner of the Ford company. He is a devotee known as Ambrish Prabhu. So he has taken a big project in Calcutta, Mayapur. There is this one temple which is going up, building is on, construction is on. World's largest temple, and he is the chairman of that. So he dedicated his life to Srila Prabhupada. In his first meeting only, when he met first time with Srila Prabhupada, and he dedicated his life. So all these big people, big industrialists, they have their own personal experiences that simply by chanting, what happens? All fear, anxiety, stress, they were free, liberated from that. So yes, so all these are different personalities. So finally, yes, this we will conclude here. So A, B, C, D, we have to just remember this. Any question?
I think we can keep it for next time because time is already
No,
short.
it's done
Can we
already.
ask a question? Then it goes into.
Yes. I think today's topic, little bit, though I was very fast, very quick, I was going. Is it okay? Little bit understanding. So Bhakti Yoga, the most easy, topmost yoga system. And we are already practicing that. You are already doing that. Nothing special you have to do. Wherever you are going, whatever you're doing, Krishna is saying just do that. Always remember. And all these different activities we are doing, it will help us to remember Krishna. And simply by remembering Krishna, this heart will be purified.
When you say intoxication, tea is also intoxication?
Yes, that's a nice question. We will discuss all the details. anything like tea and coffee, if you see, caffeine and intoxicants are there. Caffeine, nicotine, these are intoxicants. So we will discuss one to one. But as I said, as of now, don't worry about it. Don't worry about don'ts. Focus on do's. And this is the solution Krishna is giving. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya devina rasvarjam rasopasya paramdrashtvani vartate. When you have higher taste, lower taste will automatically go. This is the process. Don't worry at all about what is there. Just follow the process. Just follow what is do's. Start loving Krishna and things will take place. Don't be so much attached. Any bad habits, if you are giving up some bad habit, we are getting away from that, then it's just because of attachment, right? Let's do this after we discuss more. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Ladadayine. Hanyakashi Purvakshaha Shrilatamka Nakalaye Do Nasinha Parato Nasinha Yato Yato Yamitato Nasinha Rahir Nasinha Hidaye Nasinha Nasinha Madim Sharanam prapade tava kar kamala varinatham adbhuta shingham dalita hiranyakashipu tanubhingam kishabadrita narhari rupa jai jagadish hari Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Nasingadev 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 Jai Nasingadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Jai Gurudev Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Jai Gauranitai 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 Jai Gauranitai Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Jai Gurudev. Thank you so much. One most important activity which we could not do today. So many chanting beads. We were supposed to do 1 round of chanting at the end of session. So anyway, you all have mala, right? Chanting beads you have. So, are you doing it on a daily basis? Have you started? Yes. Do it sincerely, and you will see this will bring so many good things in life. And maybe because we are not in practice, and even you like it, you don't like it. Just think, this is not for my pleasure, because Krishna will be happy if I chant his name. So for his pleasure, just take out some time, 5-10 minutes, and chant. So this is the practice of this tongue, because for so many lifetimes we are away from Krishna, and now we have to develop that practice of chanting, glorifying Krishna, hearing about Krishna, and this process. And the day will come, because after some time, when we will do this exercise, you will be here and you will share your experience. So many transformations. Right? I've seen many devotees gone through this process, and the way they start sharing their realization, their experience, amazing. You'll be very happy to hear that. Even many people I know, they were on the verge, they were ready, they had decided to kill themselves. They were ready to suicide. But at the last moment, simply by getting this process, and now they have totally different approach, totally different life, full of happiness and bliss. So just practice it. Whether you understand, don't understand, like it, don't like it, just do it for the pleasure of Krishna every day, 10 minutes chanting. This is my humble request to all of you. So must chant today, right? So that this part we will complete at home. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah, Shri Prabhupada.